Okie dokie, we're back again, and we are going to be jumping into some ranked games with a random character and seeing what we're going to get today. And it looks like we are starting off with an axe. Do we start off with a broom too? So since we start off with an axe, we could grab ourselves a whetstone and craft up a shepherd's crook, which seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, so we'll be taking it. I'm also going to take the lump of coal. We could have grabbed a bag of stones with the walrus tusk. I mean, they're both on sale, so why the hell not? And then roll once. I was hoping that we could find some storage. Not gonna lie. I think we take the garlic, and do we take the forging hammer, do we take our wooden sword, or do we roll again? I'm actually going to roll again, and holy moly did we not find a single bit of storage. I mean, we can't even fit in a broom and our axe, unless we do something like this. But is this really going to win us rounds? Probably not. I'm also going to sell you to go ahead and grab our stone, but we won't be able to buy any storage unless we sell everything as well. So unfortunately, this is going to be our round one. We don't even get to put in our stones, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. We'll definitely see how we get on with this. But I mean, it's a lot of DPS, but not a whole lot of defenses. And with no defenses, we could be in trouble. But hell yeah, we do manage to win out. But at least we got ourselves our shepherd's crook. We grab our storage, we grab the extra stone, hell yeah. And we're going to grab the piggy bank. Not too bad. But again, I do need some storage, so I'm going to continue to roll. Now, we could grab ourselves a helper, which wouldn't be too bad. Really wants us to craft up a star sand, which I mean, we very could well, especially with a shepherd's crook. Also looking at this helper, so maybe go for a shelly or a strong helper with heavy drinking. Could be awesome. I'm going to roll again though. I definitely want to grab ourselves way more storage. Not gonna lie. But hey, we're gonna grab a storage. Goobert on Silver Tree is kind of nice. We could take a slime time, but I think we're just not gonna take it, and I'm gonna venture on with this. So we get our extra monies. We should be able to deal some big old damage with our shepherd's crook on our stones along with our axe too. We should be in a pretty good spot to be able to win this one out. Our opponent is going to be trying to flick that blind. With the twine though, they could stack up enough max life. Who am I kidding? A big old axe smash. Hell yeah. And we could take stoned, since we already have some stones. That's going to be really nice because we take 20% less damage every time we do have some block. We can also take Turn Burst, or we could go for Shielded. I kind of do like Shielded here, as mad as that is. We can go for a Katana type play. With Shielded, it could be a lot of fun. But stone makes a lot of sense, so I'm going to grab it. And holy moly, does it make it even more sense with a freaking stone badge. We're also going to take this fanny pack too. And we're definitely going to take another piggy bank. I'm going to save our 2 golds, and we are going to venture on. I want to craft up a freaking double axe. Our opponent does have the smelly wall, which is going to inflict some poison on us. And with the shell totem, they're going to stack up summon power. And holy moly, they inflict a ton of poison on us. We need to beat down our opponents really fast with our axe. But at least once we do have some block, we get 20% damage reduction. And short battle rage, we get another 20%. So we got tons of damage reduction, and amazing. Genuinely amazing. Now I really want to grab our box of riches too. I'm gonna take it. I kind of want to grab the whetstone too, just in case we still want to go for a katana. And with that, I'm gonna roll. Grab more storage. And see, I'm gonna venture on with this for now. So our axe is going to do a little bit more damage with our whetstone, so it should be pretty darn sweet overall. And we should be able to generate some gemstones, which is going to be even better. Our opponent does have 90 Michi though, so at 8 seconds, they're going to get increased damage also. Tons of heals with their shiny shells, but we still should be able to win this one out. Although they are stacking up a lot of spikes, which could potentially harm us, but hell yeah, definitely not too bad. And again, some pretty nice gemstones. Also help out if you do want it. And we could grab this topaz to speed up our axe. I was going to say hammer. Our axe. And we're going to roll. I will gladly take another freaking fanny bag. I'm also very tempted to grab our armor. It is a lot of golds. We could go for that double axe. But how about we take this for now? We roll one more time. And we could try to grab ourselves a second box of riches if we want that. The only problem I'm having right now is I also really want to add in our armor. But it does mean we might have to lose 1 piggy bank unless we take this out, which I'm kind of down for. And that is another bag of stones, which I kind of want to take also. But hey, we kind of need to sell our stone badge if we want to grab ourselves our little forging hammer, which I didn't take in the first place, which is not so great for ourselves. I also kind of want to sell a lump of gold to grab ourselves a set of blueberries. And with that, I'm going to venture on with this. So we should be able to start off with our 20% damage reduction, since we do start off with our leather armor, which is actually really, really nice. We also have tons of healing reductions. That would have gone from scaling up too much heals. We're kind of well on our way for our double axe to deal massive damage. Now, I might actually want to switch up for a katana since we're going to have so much damage reduction. I think that could be a lot of fun. Although, shielded could be amazing too. Especially if we want to go for a katana type build as well. They got crazy luck, they're stacking up regen. But this axe should be able to smash out for us. Hell yeah. Keeping our lives going is exactly what we want. And it really wants to give us more box riches. Let's take our bag stones. Let's go ahead and take another funny bag. Roll again. And that's a big old blue gemstone. Now at this point, as much as I love to keep our stone badge, I actually really want to sell it. I want to sell it, and I actually really want to spend 8 gold on our flawless sapphire, as mad as that is. I'm going to buy this. 8 gold for this gemstone is way too expensive to be spending, but I'm going to take it anyways. Now I'm also looking at this bird to speed up all items also. But piggy banks not being in is not great for us either, because I do want to generate up as much gold as possible per round. We could move this slightly down and have this placed in like so, and then we can at least get some monies. But should we grab this bird to speed up all our items, speed up all our stones so it hits faster, so we get a block faster? Could be kind of amazing. And I'm going to take it, but we're not going to place it in just yet. We are going to venture on with this, and I think we should be in a pretty good spot to deal tons of damage. Our opponent does have a lantern berry, so we should be able to inflict some debuffs along with our flawless sapphire, so they might not be able to stack up as much buffs. So they're going to use up their mana to get rid of that cold, which is ideally what we want, so they don't stack up that... Wait, hold on. Did they still get those buffs? They kind of look like so. But maybe it did trigger twice. And honestly, we did manage to beat out an Excalibur, which is kind of amazing. Now at the same time, I kind of want to grab ourselves a mana orb also, because we could end up going for a Deerwood Guardian type build, mainly because this is going to give us 15% more damage reduction. So naturally, with our duffel bag, because during battle rage we take 25% less damage, once we have some block, we also take 20% less damage, and then once we have our Deerwood Guardian, that's another 15% damage reduction. That's 60% damage reduction, which is madness. Hell yeah, I'm going to take that. I'm also going to take a little red ruby. I'm going to roll. And we probably want to be taking as much blueberries as possible. And we could craft up mana thirst, but I mean, all I want to do is stack up my big mana buff bomb, so I'm not going to be too pushed about it. Let's grab a little bit of storage, and I would love to place in our bird right now. But I also really want to grab a gemstone, so I'm going to be extremely greedy. And I will be taking a set of blueberries, and I kind of want to speed up our axe even more. So might have to take out our whetstone, which is not ideal either. I'm going to sell a little red ruby to roll once again. And that's another big old blue gemstone, which I'm going to have to grab. But a lot of items in our backpack, or in our inventory, that's not going to be great for not having it. Now I'm super glad we have a shepherd's crook, because we resist a lot of this cold, which are going to get a lot of it through still. But they're also going to inflict a ton on themselves. But they do got that shelly to cleanse it also. But it's not looking too bad for us. It's a decent bit of poison on us too. But I think we should maybe be able to win this one out with 45% damage reduction. Maybe? Can we? Hell yeah, we can. Awesome even. Keeping our lives going is exactly what we want. Now, I kind of want to go Deerwood Guarding. When I say kinda, I actually genuinely want to do that. We grab a little forging hammer. That's another big mana buff bomb. We go ahead and grab another fanny pack, and we take all this stuff. So this is probably going to be our setup for now. We definitely want to craft up our dragon scale armor. We want to craft up the dragon scale armor because it is going to be another 8% damage reduction, bringing us up to 68% damage reduction, which is going to be mad. The only problem is I can't have a shepherd's crook in just yet, but with our bird, we could go for paradise bird, but I do want to prioritize grabbing our katana to honestly just reduce our opponent's scaling damage. But I am going to venture on with this. We should be able to get our Deerwood Guardian to pop off, giving us a ton of mana, and every bit of mana we do stack up is going to be some block, which then translate back into that damage reduction. So it's going to be nice. The only problem is we do need infinite battle rage. Because if we do not beat him down during our battle rage, that's where we're going to fall short. And we do have to drop below 50% HP to trigger our battle rage. But 60% damage reduction, getting big mana buff bombs, dealing tons of damage. I mean, this is looking crazy good, is it not? And we could also just grab ourselves a Jin's Lamp and use up all the buffs we do stack up from our big mana buff bombs to deal that damage. I mean, it's not a bad idea. Let's take our blue gemstones, we roll again. We could grab the chipped ruby, we roll again. And I'm hoping to find something else other than freaking fanny packs. We could grab ourselves another leather armor as well for 8%, 76% damage reduction. I'm going to sell this. I'm also going to sell you, and I'm going to sell a red ruby. And I'm going to take it. I'm definitely going to take it. The problem is we can't really have in our box of riches then, which is not ideal either way. I'm going to sell the garlic, roll once more, and that is a double axe if we want a double axe. I mean, we could go double axe from here, but it just takes up way too much storage. And yeah, I'm not going to bother too much with the double axe, which is kind of mad. We're grabbing a second dragon scale armor for even more damage reduction. It's going to be kind of awesome. Our opponent is going to be stacking up some regen, which means a lot of blind on us. And this is where Shepherd's Crook would have been really, really freaking awesome for us. But we do need our battle rage to pop off, and it goes straight up to 68% damage reduction. I mean, that's madness. It's definitely going to be madness. We stack up our luck, which does give us our accuracy. And all of a sudden, it's looking like we're back in it. We got tons and tons of buffs. And actually, our axe is running out of stamina. But our opponent does have crazy in power. And he did manage to beat us out. And we could pivot. We literally could pivot and go for Hardwood. It will give us tons of block. And we could trade up for a wooden sword instead of a katana. Which, honestly, at this point, I'm kind of down for. We can get tons of max life with our Power of the Moon. We can deal 15% of our healing as damage, which is also kind of nice. But I'm going to take Hardwood. I'm going to take Hardwood. I'm going to take another fanny pack with some extra storage. We're going to roll. Take this 2. That starts off with 15 more block. We roll again. And we could grab a second big old bird. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to sell a little forging hammer to grab ourselves this eye lamp. I want to grab the eye lamp so we don't actually have the problem with blind as much anymore. We're also going to be using our Jin's Lamp in here, so we have the potential to get a huge damage increase, which could be kind of nice. And since we stack up so much block with our sapphires, once we stack up tons of mana, we should be able to have enough block to activate this Jin's Lamp. All we need to do is get our buffs, which would mean our big mana buff bomb has the potential to give us to us, and our axe is doing crazy damage. And it's not looking too bad. Definitely not. Now we could get some invulnerability with a glowing crown as well, a big old perfect emeralds. I want to grab every common item we can grab, cheese to stack up our max life, but I'm not as interested in that either. I'm just laughing at this fanny pack situation. We have so much fanny packs, it's kind of nuts. I'm going to ignore it for now though, and I really want to find ourselves a wooden sword. I'm just going to keep rolling for now. Another mana orb. Stamina sack is exactly what we're looking for, to be honest. And we probably should take out our box of riches if we want to find ourselves a wooden sword. I'm also going to sell this green gemstone. I mean, every single green gemstone is going to be a little bit more block for us. But yeah, we're going to rock on with this. Definitely. So we want to get as much gemstones as possible. More blue gemstones is going to be even better for us. That's for sure. But hey, it's not looking too bad for us. We should be able to get our big buffs, triple mana orbs. I mean, we have the potential to get 3 big mana buff bombs, but it is going to be a long time getting all 3. But can we beat a Spymancer? I mean, they do got the Dark Lantern, so they are going to resurrect to half, or once they drop below 0% HP. But we do get our damage reduction, 76% damage reduction. They get their invulnerability. But we have 76% damage reduction for such a long freaking time. And hell yeah, our axe doing 74 damage. And it's not even a double axe. 85 DPS on this is madness. Now it does take us quite some time to get our damage. Not gonna lie, 40 DPS. It really depends on us dropping below half HP though. So 25 DPS from our axe, which is not too crazy. In terms of heals, 6 healing per second with 4 max health gain. But in terms of block, 582 block gained, which is not bad. Being a hardwood, stoned, Flawless Sapphires. Actually looking pretty darn good. I'm going to definitely continue on. But let's go ahead and grab ourselves a stamina stack. Now we could also forgo our bag of stones and go for big old stone golem. But I'm not going to take it. More skin reduction I'll take. I'm also tempted to grab the lump of coal. We roll again. That's another big mammoth bomb. We're going to sell this. That's our wooden sword, which we're going to take. And sell our axe, which is going to be mad. But hey, we're definitely going to take this. We probably want a storage. We probably want a shiny shell. And the thing about hardwood is, we do have it in a nice spot here, but we're also not making use for Deerwood Guardian as much as possible. So I'm thinking about moving on with something like this. So our hardwood is going to be in the most ideal spot that we can have it in. But also mana orb is going to be in the most best position that we can have. Maybe. Seems pretty decent right now. We're going to have a bird in this position as well, targeting our Deerwood Guardian to speed it up along with our wooden sword. So yeah, I'm going to be venturing on with this. So our wooden sword is going to get all the damage multiplied by 150%. So this wooden sword is going to start dealing some big old damage once we start getting some more power, once we actually lamp, and every time our lamp, our other lamp pops off, it's going to increase that damage. And we don't really have to worry about blind all that much, that's for sure. We've got tons of block, which is actually to our detriment. We should be able to get one big mammoth bomb, give us that power, and our wooden sword has a 100 DPS. And you know what? 100 DPS wooden sword with crazy damage reduction seems pretty insane, does it not? Although that's a lot of blind on us. Accuracy still at 85%. And smashing. Definitely smashing. But hey, we did craft up a big old burning blue gemstone. I said blue, literally just seen the blue gemstone. And I immediately thought of that gemstone. I'm going to grab our stamina sack. I also want to grab you two, want to roll, and we could grab even more whetstones because they are one slot items. And we could also grab the glowing crown for invulnerability, but I really want to be using up our mana to get big mana buff bombs. So I'm not going to take it. We have so much damage reduction, I don't think it's going to matter too much. Every blue gemstone is going to be even more awesome, that's for sure. So I'm actually thinking about moving on with this. Also, having our hardwood in a spot, trying to get as much as possible. We did also move our set of blueberries over. We got a common nature item, which is fantastic for Deerwood Guardian, to be quite honest. But hey, let's venture on with this. So every bit of sapphires is just going to be more block for how much mana we're stacking up. So we become super defensive with a block. Now that's a very long spear anvil, which actually seems incredibly awesome. And they're going to be reducing the damage that we're going to have. The damage reduction that we're going to have. With every hit, they're going to deal some big old damage, but so is our hardwood. And something super close, and hell yeah, we managed to go down to 1% damage reduction, which is kind of amazing that we faced a very long spear type build. Don't really see that weapon too often. I'm glad to grab ourselves some chipped amethyst. I kind of want to grab the garlic because it is a common nature item also, and I really want to place it in this spot. There's also a big red ruby. We could place it in our armor to get more heals on top of everything, which might not be too bad also. We could grab the forging hammer along with gloves. That way we can speed up our Deerwood Guardian during that battle rage. Which I'm actually going to take it. We're going to craft up those dragon claws. We're going to roll again. We could grab another dragon scale armor. 84% damage reduction? Is that too much? I'm not sure even how we'd position that in. I mean, the only spot I can really think of is right up here. But then again, we lose our gloves on our Deerwood Guardian, which we just bought. And it's just going to have crazy speed during battle rage. So I kind of like it over that 8% damage reduction. So unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to take it. I think I do, however, want to take this chip topaz. I'm also going to sell you and this gemstone and our lump of coal so we can go ahead and grab a bit of storage. And I do want to craft this up so we can craft up another topaz to speed up our wooden sword even faster. And let's get going once again. Now, double amethyst steel. Oh, that's 80 in power. We could be in trouble. There's going to be a lot of blind on us as well. So, again, we need our lamp to skill up our accuracy. 20% accuracy. Are we going to be able to survive this with 76% damage reduction? Maybe. Because we scale up our accuracy, we scale up our buffs, and all of a sudden our wooden sword has come back with 120 DPS, which is kind of mad. And our battle rage is still going. And holy moly. I mean, this is madness. Is it not? Definitely madness. Now, maybe I did want to craft this all the way up. But it's a little bit too late. I'm also going to get even more battle rage for even longer because that is going to be a huge win con for us. I'm going to roll again. Grab ourselves this little gemstone. We keep rolling. And all I really do want to find is more freaking mana orbs. There's a blueberry so we can scale up our luck even faster. Another bird could be kind of awesome. We grab another freaking fanny bag. Let's speed up our bird even faster. But then we sell our gemstone, we roll once more. And you're just going to be free monies. But let's get going once again. Now we are facing Ageless Leaf, which is going to be a ton of mana for our opponent. They're going to get a big mana buff bomb. And they're going to have tons and tons of buffs. They're going to deal tons and tons of damage. They're stacking up spikes with Vampirism. And I mean, this Bloodthorn is actually pushing through with a ton of damage. But we can bring it back. We can definitely bring it back. This wooden sword doing some amazing damage. And even our little forging hammer also doing some pretty decent damage. And we got our perfect sapphire, which will now give us 8 block every 5 mana. Whereas before having him not crafted up was going to give us 10 block. Which is definitely a big drop in our block. But having this healing reduction inside is also going to be fantastic. Let's also grab you. And we could offer up our Glowing Crown, but again, I don't necessarily want to use our mana for invulnerability. We keep rolling. We could go for double wooden swords, but let's just go ahead and grab our gemstone. We keep rolling. All I want to do is find more blue gemstones. Now we could try the lamp again, which will just add way more damage for a wooden sword. But I kind of just want to take our spike collar and move on with this. Now, do we want to take the Jin's lamp? I mean, we would want to place it in this spot right here. But then where the hell are we going to move our dragon scale armor? Also, we probably should have crafted up Paradise Burb. Paradise Burb to duplicate all the buffs we can get from our mana orbs. Seems like that would have been amazing also. But I'm just going to rely on grabbing ourselves a spike collar, and we are going to venture on with this. Definitely, that's a ruby chunk with a Bloodthorn, with a Nocturnal Locklifter, and a Paradise Burb. They're going to get crazy heals, like insane amount of heals. Now, actually having a big perfect ruby inside our Heart of Darkness to actually increase your healing efficiency would help out your build quite a bit. But again, we get tons of damage reduction, and all of a sudden we answer back with our own amazing damage. And not going to be close? Hell yeah. We get rid of our little forging hammer once again. A Star Sand, it really wants us to take Star Sand. Let's go ahead and get rid of it immediately. Let's go and grab more healing reduction. Might as well grab the fanny pack. And I want to keep our box riches in to try and find ourselves a big old gemstone. But I also really want to craft up Paradise Burb. So I'm also tempted to take it out. Now Corrupted Crystal on sale, I might as well grab it for now as I continue to roll. And I'm going to sell it immediately, and I'm going to take another spike collar. Which we're just going to have infinite battle rage with all these spike collars. Literally, we roll once more. And it doesn't really look like we are going to get ourselves our Paradise Burb, unfortunately. I'm also going to sell you roll once more. And we could have taken some wonky snowmen to stop our opponents from scaling up so much max life. But it is a final round to craft. I mean, I am going to venture on with this. Final round to craft. I mean, we should have 83% heal reduction, stop our opponent from heals. Now they are going to get tons and tons of block, inflicting crazy absurd poison on us. And we could end up taking a lot of damage from the poison. But again, we're going to take 76% of that poison as less damage. So we should be able to survive this poison and just deal our amazing damage. Now they are breaking through with some damage as well. And holy moly, did we barely survive that, which is kind of nuts. Now there's our katana. After everything, that's finally our katana. Let's go and grab our gemstone. We roll again. Another fanny pack if we want it. Don't want any of these items, so I'm going to keep going. And that's our Paradise Burb. I mean, we could still take it and just get a ton of mana from the get-go. So we don't have to stack up a big mana buff bomb as slow. But that is literally the only reason why I would take it right now. I mean, even if we do place it in here, we have the potential to get 6 mana. Up to 8 mana from the get-go. And then we're going to get a buff every 8 seconds. One of every buff. And that's literally about it. So I don't know if we want to even grab it. And that's a big old perfect ruby. which we could just get a ton of lifesteal on our wooden sword for crazy heals. I mean, it's not the gemstone I'm looking for, so I'm not going to take it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to keep rolling. Armor, regen, little forging hammer once again. Well, we just keep going. Hey, another Jin's lamp though. I mean, honestly, I really do want to take it. I want to take it and place it in this position. Also going to place our box of riches back in as I continue to roll. And I'm going to sell it. I'm going to sell it to keep on. Now that is absurd amounts of battle rage. But then again, our Dragon Scale Armor is not going to be the most ideal position either. Being in that spot because I do want to increase the speed on our Deerwood Guardian as much as possible. I mean, we could also move our bird down, but then again, then we lose the speed on our Deerwood Guardian, trying to speed it up as much as possible. And we could remove our mana orbs and place this in up top. That's one thing we could potentially do also. The only problem with that is our mana orbs are going to be scattered around and they're not going to be in the most ideal positions either. But the trade-off is going to be even more damage, which should be amazing. Potentially. It does mean we're going to have to stack up 14 of all these buffs, which is quite a bit. Definitely so. No, I actually really want to grab ourselves another spike collar. Is there any way we can grab it? Well, if we sell you and sell you too, and we sell our little topaz, we can take it, and that is kind of nuts. So we got 4 spike collars, gives 8 seconds of battle rage. We definitely have infinite battle rage, 76% damage reduction for that 5 seconds with another 8 seconds, so that's 13 seconds on top another times 8 times 0.8, which is possibly going to be 6.4 seconds. The 20 seconds of battle rage is madness. But is it going to be enough to win out? We'll have to see. We are facing a big old poison stack in builds. We are going to slow it down, but we're going to have poison ivy, which means we are going to take more damage from the poison ivy. 25% of that damage reduction is going to be down for us. So I'm glad we have 76%. There's going to be a lot of poison stacked up on us, so we're going to take crazy damage. And one way we can lose is if we don't drop to half HP fast enough, because that poison can stack up and potentially just beat us down. Now 51% damage reduction. We do need our wooden sword to pop off, and with 2 caps of discomforts, nullifying all our buffs. I mean, this is one build that can potentially destroy us. Although our wooden sword is putting in some work for us right now, and it's looking super close. Hell yeah, we just barely squeezed by. Now we actually end up with a 52 DPS within 12 seconds of the fight, even though our opponent had some damage reduction also, and our opponent still had 60% damage, or 60 DPS I should say. I mean, our opponents would have had 120 DPS, basically, maybe even more. Now in terms of heals, we had very little heals because our opponent had so much heal reduction on us, and a 2 max health gain from our good old piggy bank. And in terms of block, we actually had less since we crafted up so much blue gemstones. But in turn, we could just reduce our opponent's healing like crazy also. But it is what it is. Hardwood, wooden sword, definitely not a bad build. 76% damage reduction is amazing. And we did end up with 5 lives left. Let's go and see just how much rank points we managed to get. Plus 15, ranking us almost back up to Masters once again. But yeah, I'm going to have to leave you here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even subscribing. And I hope you keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time. Now, can we deal with the meta Berserker build with the Deerwood Guardian with a slice of gingerbread jerry added in as well? So they're going to stack up lots of life, lots of damage, and they're going to stack up some max life also. But is our build going to be better than their build? I mean, Hardwood is just going to have insane scaling damage compared to opponents, and we're just going to have way more damage reduction, that's for sure, and we get crazy buffs, and hell yeah. And can we deal with Hal the Hateful Hat with a Null Blade Cupcake Staff? This is actually going to be interesting, because they're just going to be infinitely stacking mana to get some big mana buff bombs, and they're going to be potentially removing some of our buffs with that Null Blade, making it a lot more difficult to get our lamps on our wooden sword, and they're after dealing some big old damage. But again, 60 or 76% damage reduction, and not going to be close after that. And can we deal with this crazy Cupcake Goobert's Ukulele Adventure type build? I mean, it's kind of looking interesting. They're going to get a ton of buffs. They're going to be stacking up mana infinitely. They're going to be stealing our buffs with the Squirrel Archer. They're going to get that increased damage with Knight to Michu. And they're going to be stacking up speed, getting faster, with Empower. But are we going to be able to win this one out? Because again, we get our damage reduction, we get our buffs, we get our wooden sword to deal crazy damage, and all of a sudden it's dealing 100 DPS, 160 DPS. Hell yeah. Not bad.